Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Central Intelligence. I'm Anna Skaliski.
And I'm Michael Lee. Today we check out what's to come with the new president. We also learn more about the effects of Springfield's high poverty rates.
Stay tuned for these stories and more because this is CI. Mental health is an often overlooked part of our well-being, and not without consequence.
Sabrina Allis and Lauren Seiko bring light to this issue.
1 in 4 people throughout the course of their lifetime will probably deal with a mental health issue.
Mental illness is one of those things that can just happen to anybody. If you have the right genetic and environmental concoction, then you can have mental illness.
A certain amount from all walks of life can and will be affected by mental illness at some point in their lives.
Progress is the same word used by mental health advocates when they describe the collective effort to help Springfield's mentally ill. However, the effort is not equal to the task, leaving Springfield in a mental health crisis.
I personally know people that have tried to obtain some mental health services and were told, oh, well, the psychiatrist is booked out for the next year.
For me, it was very difficult because I didn't have meds during that time, and I am one of those people who, because of my circumstance, needs meds to function. And so I had to live 7 months of my life basically on my own, no help, with nothing I could do.
It took me a while to get in, and then once I got it, it's pretty much I can go to my doctor and she'll prescribe my meds that I need.
I don't know if it's that they aren't getting paid what they feel they're worth or if there are better options elsewhere, but it's really hard to keep psychiatrists.
I just don't think that we have enough people seeing the value of that career.
The biggest concern surrounding this glaring issue is the effect it will have on the people seeking help.
The big risk that I would think would be just that whatever issue is occurring would continue to get worse, and that person feeling like they don't have a support system or don't have help to turn to.
Even with a major trauma, if somebody comes in and they deal with it immediately, the after effects are a lot less than they would be if they put off getting help.
The easier the access, the quicker things get done, the quicker you can get the help you need. And the quicker that you can get back to living your life.
You have to have access to the right professional who can supply you with the correct resources that you need.
Help is very important, and help doesn't have to be through counseling.
There are lots of people that you can go to ask for help if you are having a mental health crisis.
It sucks. It sucks to have to wait. It sucks a lot, but you can get through it.
Signing off for Central Intelligence, this has been Sabrina Allis and Lauren Seiko reporting.
Homelessness is a widespread problem across the Springfield area, yet not much assistance is provided. Sophie Payne and Angel Dino tell you how you can help.
On $80 a week, you can't live on it. That's what made me homeless.
Homelessness is a widespread problem across the Springfield area. However, as most people do not have to deal with this issue, it can be easily overlooked.
The Gathering Tree is basically a drop-in center for homeless people that are on the street in the evening hours. And we're open from 5 to 8, 5 days a week, Thursday through Monday. And what we have found is that the homeless have no place to go in the evening time. They've got places in the daytime. And most of them have a place to sleep, even if it's under a bridge. But they have no place to go in the evening, so they're on the street. So what we created was a place where they could get off the street for a few hours.
I went in there and just cried because there was a warm spot.
Ever since I've been homeless, I mean, just homeless people telling me about the Gathering Tree on Campbell. They feed you food, really good food. They feed us snacks. You know, it's no major meal like it used to be up on Campbell, but This place is nice, so, you know, just come in, get a little snack, you know, you'll be all right. That lady and her husband, I mean, they are outrageous, awesome people, seriously. I mean, I like to see them every time when they're here, yeah.
Many people simply help out by starting a conversation to help normalize this situation.
But we want people to come down. We want them to come down and visit. It will change your perception of homelessness. Absolutely change it. And the person that gets changed the most is me and you, not the homeless. That's whose lives get changed.
To be honest, I don't usually volunteer. I just go and talk to the homeless people around town to get to know their stories. It's like love on them because they need it.
I pray 24 hours a day to just have a home.
Encouraging you to pass a smile, this has been Sophie Payne and Angel Dino reporting.
With the recent results of the election, information about Trump's new policies are beginning to take form.
Annalise Swords and Hunter Matson show you what the new presidency might bring.
With the outcome of the presidential election, we may see changes in our government on the local and national level.
Hillary won the popular vote, but Trump won the electoral vote, and Trump is now president-elect and was now voted by the Electoral College to be the president of the United States.
Some of Trump's education policies include privatizing schools, removing Common Core, and cutting government profit on student loans.
I mean, it doesn't seem like a very good idea. I think as a nation we should kind of get together to ensure that education benefits everyone in the nation and that everyone is given a good education. And I think privatizing it is going to leave a lot of kids behind, and it's going to leave a lot of kids struggling to compete with their peers when in reality just everyone learns differently and everyone just isn't the same. Everyone has different strengths and different weaknesses, and it's going to leave people behind, and that's not going to be good.
School-wise, you know, I think he argues for a lot of reform with schools. Maybe one that he likes is school choice. The idea that each person out there can choose what school they go to. And there's a lot of people that say this is the way to do it. There's a lot of people that say that that's just not true.
Many students and teachers have speculated as to whether Trump's policies will initiate changes in Central High School.
I think that the election has impacted our school greatly. There are a lot of students with concerns over his policies on immigration, for example. So I know that through executive order, a lot of students are safe and able to stay here in the United States. When Obama leaves office, that executive order will go away. And so I think a lot of them are afraid that they will need to return to their countries.
But also, I think with such a large minority population at places like Central, with such anti-minority rhetoric that is seen in his campaign and is seen after his campaign, it's going to have a large impact on how we treat one another as well.
I know that he wants strong borders. I know that it's important to him that the people who come into our country are here legally and that we are safe in accepting refugees, that they are properly vetted. And so that's a concern that he and a lot of members of the Republican Party share.
Though some, I hope we could all work together on and work with him on and, you know, overcome it.
Signing off for Central Intelligence, this has been Annalise Swords and Hunter Matson reporting.
Many students find that preconceptions about art prevent them from pursuing this field. Michael Lee and Kaylee's son helped to paint a picture of this issue.
Students here at Central are constantly surrounded by art. From the pieces in the hallway to the architecture of the building itself, art is something that we see every day, even if we don't realize it. For some students, however, art is more than something that is looked at. It's something that they aspire to create.
I've been doing art since I was a kid in elementary school. I never really stopped doing it, and it's kind of just been a constant thing I've done in my life. I think in the beginning, I was encouraged to do it by a lot of my teachers, and especially my mom and my dad. But now, I think I kind of have a voice with my own artwork, and that's really interesting to me.
I knew when I was in high school that I wanted to do something in art, and then I took all of the art classes that were offered at my high school and decided that teaching art would be an excellent way for me to stay involved in art and at the same time help other people.
Beyond being aesthetically pleasing, art provides more than something pleasant to look at for these artists.
I view art as just an integral part of what my personality is. That's how I express myself creatively, and can't imagine not doing art. I'm doing the same thing in my work as I do for pleasure. So, I really don't, I feel like I'm not working.
My favorite part about art is the freedom to create whatever I like, the sort of freedom to express myself through different mediums, and freedom to create.
Oftentimes, criticism from others can come between each artist and their dreams.
My response to criticism is don't take it unless it's constructive. Don't listen to anyone who is trying to kill your dreams. I've been told that art is stupid and it's not worth my time and I'm not going to be successful doing art, but that's what drives me and that's what keeps me going.
Many of these critics seem to focus on the financial aspects of pursuing art as a career.
If it's something you love, I strongly believe that at some point that will pay off and you will find the resources that you need. You'll find a residency where somebody's going to pay you to make art. You'll find scholarships. You'll find people who want to buy your art. And I wouldn't give it up just because you're afraid of the money aspect.
Finances impacted my decisions because I'm more aware of them now. And the art world is very changeable. Like, you don't know it's going to be popular in 10 years. So it's kind of nonsensical to worry about money so much in your life.
Looking back, successful artists have advice and inspiration about what you should do if you wish to pursue art as a career.
I would say, for those people who want to pursue art, is you need to make sure that you are strong enough to express yourself clearly and then also to express yourself with your own voice. Don't let other people tell you how to make your art.
Now I've got the dream job, just being the boss and getting to do what I want to do. It was a naysayer kind of thing. I just wanted to go ahead and do what I wanted to do because that's what was going to make me happy.
Signing out for Central Intelligence, this has been Michael Lee with videographer Kaylee Sun reporting. The blurred line between cultural appropriation and appreciation has left many confused and worried about offending others.
Asha Parvathanini and Tabitha Varville bring you the sides to this story.
With students from over 100 countries, Central is widely known as the most diverse school in Springfield. However, because of this diversity, the problem of cultural appropriation is more apparent. As a result of this growing issue, opinions about this conflict vary.
I would define cultural appropriation as taking a part of someone else's culture and changing it for your own uses and presenting it in a derogatory way.
When the members of that group of people invite you into their culture, then you're appreciating it. But when you're taking the aspects without knowing why they're important or without permission by the members of that culture, then you're just wearing that culture essentially as a costume and you're appropriating it.
It's a really touchy subject and it's sticky, and it's basically based on the point of the person to whom it may or may not offend.
I don't think it's actually offensive. I know that people are trying to learn about other cultures. I just think that there is no limit. Everyone should be able to, learn about other cultures and do everything that other cultures are doing as well.
Although cultural appropriation traditionally has negative connotations, there are differing opinions on the disparities between the celebration and the appropriation of a culture.
I'm Jewish, and I wish that people would stop defining for themselves how they want to represent my culture, because it's mine and not theirs. So I should pick how it's defined because it's going to be seen by me and it's going to reflect my community, even if I'm not the one that is portraying it.
A lot of times when I was younger, I would do something like henna or wear traditional clothing and people would mock that. But now people just kind of think, wow, that's pretty. And so anytime somebody wears henna or a bindi and they don't actually take into consideration what those things symbolize, it's kind of annoying.
It reinforces stereotypes. That's one of the worst things about cultural appropriation and celebration, because while someone may feel that they are celebrating, at the same time they're also stereotyping.
I think everyone should be able to, joke about it and be lighthearted, but there are some instances when people do try to be offensive about it, even though they shouldn't.
You just have to make sure that you're being kind and considerate even when you're joking, to make sure that you don't hurt anyone that is a part of that culture.
Regardless of the conflicting views about the aspects of cultural appropriation, there are still ways to celebrate other cultures.
Celebrating a culture is when the people whose culture it is, they're inviting you into doing the things that are part of that culture that you're like taking part in.
So I view someone celebrating a culture whenever they are inquiring about it or trying to learn more and accurately celebrating and doing the same rituals or singing the same songs as the people in that culture. But I find cultural appropriation unknowingly taking things from a culture and putting it towards a negative light or using it for a purpose that it wasn't intended or a symbol that it wasn't intended to be a symbol for.
If I invite somebody somewhere, it's because I trust them to not exploit my culture or make fun of it, and so I'm okay with them participating in anything that I'm doing.
You got to find out from the source what is or what is not offensive to them, and then when you get to that point, I think that's when you can be able to celebrate a lot of things.
Signing off for Central Intelligence, this has been Asha Parvathaneni and Tabitha Varville reporting.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of Central Intelligence.
Be sure to check out other stories and more on our website, chscinews.com. You can also like us on Facebook, tweet us, or follow us on Instagram at @CHS_CI.
We will see you again in 2 weeks.